Greetings. Um, I I remember two dreams that I had. One early in the morning, maybe, not sure. It was so dark, so I'm gonna say probably between the hours of 2 and 3. I woke up from a dream. Um, in that dream, I was like preparing to go to battle, and in the dream, I was gearing up with clothes, right? So I was putting on, um, it was like winter. It's cold and there's going to be a battle. And I was preparing for this battle. And in this dream, my sister, one of my sister was in the dream with me, and a male figure unknown to me in this in this life. But anyway, we were like battling up, so we're putting on clothes, and I remember I was like putting on like just looking for these warmest thermal socks to put on. So I was putting on like 3 socks at different lengths, and I wanted to put on like a leggings because I'm in the dream. I'm thinking like I gotta stay warm for this battle, and the whole dream was focused on me putting on a number of socks because I think I was like I have to make sure my feet turn warm, keep warm, and and yeah, that was the most important thing in the dream was like keeping my feet warm. But anyway, so when I was having the dream, my sister in the dream was like, I don't know, I felt like the energy between us was not good. Like she was angry at me in the dream. Um, but the whole dream was spent looking for socks and leggings to put on to go prepare for this battle. And in the dream, I remember I had my rings on too, and I was thinking like, should I take my rings off or should I keep them on? Because I want to be able to grasp my sword properly. And I think at the end of the dream, I said, um, what if my hands freeze and I won't be able to grasp my sword? Maybe I should have looked for some gloves. But anyway, I woke up from the dream, and I went I went back to sleep. And in the early morning, maybe around 5 something, I woke up from another dream. And um, in this dream, I'm standing in my kitchen. The setup is similar to this apartment that I'm living in right now. The kitchen is like to the back of the house. I'm standing in my kitchen, and my father was standing in the front part of the house where the living room is. And his phone rings, and he answers the phone, and he was talking on the phone, and I heard the voice of a child. He was speaking to like the voice of a child, and it's like the call was on loudspeaker. You ever have your phone connect to your car, and when your phone ring, the conversation is coming out loud through the car? That's how it was in the dream. That's how I was hearing the opposite end of the line where this child was speaking. So for me to hear even clearer, I decided to step through the back door and go outside to listen. And it was basically a little girl speaking to her daddy. She was saying daddy. They were just having this little girl conversation talking to her daddy. And in the dream, I was like, oh, my father has a little girl that we didn't know about. That's the dream. So they end up hanging up the phone, and as they hang up the phone, I went back into my kitchen and I went back to continue washing my dishes. And then my father came up behind me and he said to me that, um, I want your power. So when he said that in the dream, the feeling that I felt in the dream was that he wanted to be sexual with me. And I was like, no. But he just said, I want your power. And in the dream, I felt like just to surrender and to just give it up, just do it, right? That's how I felt in the dream, to just allow it to happen. But at the same time, even though I felt that emotionally, physically, I was saying no, and I started to cry, and I was like trying to get away. And as I was trying to get away from him, I look outside. There's like a front porch in the front, and there was a man standing outside with his back turned to the door. So I opened the front door and I went outside and I was crying. And I said to the man, oh, he's trying to hurt me. He wants to hurt me. And it's like the man was like holding me up, we're like leaning on each other. It was like an older man, and we were like stepping down the stairs to go leave. And as we go leave, my father came to the front of us, in front of us, and like blocked us from leaving. And he was like, no, I want your power. And I was crying, and then I started calling for help because this man was there holding me up, but he wasn't really doing anything. He was not doing anything to stop. He was just holding me, right? And I think in the dream, I felt like a little safer because this man was there, you know? And, but since he wouldn't let us pass, now I started calling for help, help, help. And some people came. I remember it was like a young boy and an older woman and like another little people like stand in the background, but they're not relevant. It's like they weren't relevant to the story. And the woman was like, came into the yard and came up and she's like, what happened? What's wrong? And I was like, he's trying to hurt me. He wants, um, he wants to hurt me. He and he's like, what does he want? He's like, as I was like, he wants to take my power. And she was like, she was like, you have enough power. Give it to him. And I'm like, in the dream, I'm like, what? I got confused. For a second, I got confused. But I was like, I think I was thinking, what do you mean give it to him? But at the same time, when she said that, it's like his hand reached out to me, right? My father's hand. And I took his hand, like not fully took his hand, but like I took his hand just a little bit, like this. And when I took his hand, all I was thinking in my mind, but not out loud, was like, I love you, I love you, I love you. And I gave him some of my power. That was how I gave him some of my power. And then he let go of my hand, and I just woke up from the dream. So as I was laying in the bed and I'm thinking like, what does this dream mean? Like, okay. No, I was like, okay, higher self, spirit, no, I need to know, what does this dream mean? And and for a little bit I was like thinking like, maybe I'm not a dream interpreter, but I used to understand my dream, like spirit used to give me the meaning of my dreams as I have my dream, I would wake up with the meaning. But recently, I've not been waking up with meaning of my dreams. I don't know what they mean. But I was thinking, like, does the little girl represent me, like my younger self, of maybe of how I used to give love unconditionally as a child. I would give love, and based on experiences that I have, I don't want to go too deep into those experiences. I cut myself off, shut myself off. But I'm not. I don't fully know the meaning of the dream right now. So, but I felt like I should make a video about it. I don't know why I've never made videos of my dream. I've recorded my dream, but I've never made videos of my dream and even share them. Um, but I've had dreams about other people, things that are gonna occur, and but anyway, I don't want to get into that. That's not what this video about. Um, so, right, where am I? Right, I woke up from the dream. I was trying to think about what the dreams mean, and as I was laying in my bed, trying to fall back asleep because I'm asking Spirit to give me a meaning of this dream, I heard a male person call my name. And as I hear my name called twice, Ayana, Ayana, and I'm like, I got so scared, frightened, like frozen. I became frozen with fear. And I just couldn't move. Laying in my bed, I was just frozen, just did not move until my brain picked up who this person was that was calling me. Now it's like 5 something in the morning, close to 6, and so I laid there frozen. The person's calling my name. I didn't move. I didn't answer. They call my name till they walked away. This is my bed this is at the opposite end of the kitchen, and there's a window right by my bed. So I think you could see, if you look through, you could kind of see that my bed is right by the window, me laying in my bed. But anyway, I lay there frozen, did not move, didn't say a word. And the person left, and I think went around to the front because I hear them around there calling my name. And I'm like still laying here, and I'm like, should I get up? I'm like, I didn't want to get up and go over my door. um, but anyway, I got up out my bed to go open my door, but I end up not opening my door and came back and lay down until I think the person left because I didn't go answer. And this person is someone that I used to be intimate with, that I have stopped speaking to, like block them, don't want to speak to them, because I feel like whenever I'm around this person, like we're not really intimate anymore, but whenever I'm around this person, it's like they trying to control me, like control like how I do things, like take over anything. Like that's the energy that I get, and we just always clashing, like arguing, like anything I say, any views, anything, the person's always like opposing anything I say, even if it's not has nothing to do with them. So, and another thing, um, we're trying to. Was trying to be friends with the person, even though we were intimate before. For the reasons I stopped talking to the person because they're inauthentic and disloyal, and they're not basically not honest. And I didn't want to be around this person. I didn't want that energy anymore. I feel I gave the person so many chances, you know. I don't want to say to be a better person, but I see through people. I see people's intentions. I feel energy. So I feel a lot when people are being dishonest, when they're hiding things. I see it, I feel it. Okay? So, um, I told the person they could be who they want to be, but just not with me or not around me. When you're going to be that way, I don't want that type of energy. So, anyway, so hence why the person show up here, because I've not been taking any calls, block, totally cut off, right? So, um, where am I? As I was asking spirit what the dream mean, and then this person show up, and I was like, what the fuck? Okay. Um, don't know if you have any relation to the dream, but we'll see. But to me, it seems like that's the one in spirit was wanting. Somebody coming, they want your energy. And but I did not talk to the person, so no, I did not. Anyway, but yeah, so um man, I lost my thought here. I don't know where I was going with this, but I was sharing this dream, and then I was sharing what happened when I woke up from the dream. And basically, in the dream, I don't know why Spirit chose to use my dad. I guess it's because of the history with my father. But that feeling that I felt, frozen, scared to death till I'm frozen, I can't move. When I was younger, school age that they call it, when you're between 12, 13, whatever, or is it 14, those age, um, probably around 14, 15, right? Um, I went to live with my dad when I was like 12 years old. Prior to that, I was living with my mom and my stepfather, another history of its own. And anyway, thought come in my head, but I don't want to share that. So I went to live with my dad, me and my two siblings, sisters, and he used to when we went to live with him, he was with someone, with another woman. And then one day when I came home from school, she was like crying, and I'm like, the police came. She called and said my dad hit her. So they broke up. She moved out, and like after she moved out, I don't know how long after that, I used to share a room with my younger sister, and I don't know when it all started, but weird things started to happen. And um, my dad just started doing these things that weren't right to me as a child. I'm like inappropriate, and I had prior experience of this. So, but my dad would come in the bathroom when I'm not fully dressed. I'm out of the shower, not dressed, and just inappropriate things like that. Or come inside my room, come in the room, no knocking, just come right in. And I don't know exactly when it started, but during the night, right? He used to crawl, and when I say crawl, like crawl on his knees and hands and knees into the room, open the door, crawl into the room, crawl around to the side of the bed that I sleep on, and would be on the floor. Almost every night he would do that, right? And I remember we tried to like lock the door, that shit didn't work. I don't know, one day I think he like well, we'd lock the door, there was a lock on the door. But what one day I don't know what had happened. And he took the lock off the door. Something had happened and he took the lock off the door, where he used it to take as an excuse to take the lock off the door. So um when that happened, one time I even tried to use, the little thumbtacks that you use to stick things on the wall like paper. I would put them like, because there was a carpet in the room sticking up from the carpet. Like if he comes in, this thumbtack would stick him in his hand or his knees. That shouldn't work. Anyway, he would still come in the room, crawl around on the floor at night. And sometimes he would put his hands up on the bed and like try to like feel for me and touch me, things like that. And one night he came into the room and he woke me up and told me to come. And he took me back to his room and told me, like, I've never told us all this. Anyway, oh my God, I can't believe I'm talking about this. But anyway, to have me lay down in the bed with him. And that feeling that I got when that happened, when he did that, was I was frozen, scared, trembling, frozen. I felt it in my stomach, the fear, right? Frozen, couldn't move. And when he saw that, I was scared to death, like literally, like scared to death. He told me, it's okay to go back to my room. Now, when that person came and called me this morning, that is the same feeling I felt. Frozen. Breath stopped. Can't breathe. No breathing. Just frozen. Just felt the fear in my stomach. That is why I'm talking about this story, because that experience brought my mind back to the experience with my dad. Now, I've been having back and forth, like trying to have like a friendship with this person, a relationship, but it's not working. They just seems like they always want more, even though I said no, just friends, but this person always want more. This person been asking me to, when he come by to help me, because I'm living in as a single female by myself, and there's things that I cannot do, that this person would just show up and want to help me with things. It's not me calling the person to ask, because I've learned that here in Jamaica, when a woman, if you ask a man to do something for you, they expect something in return. And it's always sex. That's the experience. That's what I've observed here. Okay? So I have learned, because I've been living here for over a year and something, a year and 3 months, 4 months. I've learned that male don't do things for women here unless they want something, and it's almost always sexual, unless you are related. But I'm living here. I don't know. I have no relatives in the parish that I live with in, and I don't really know anyone here. And mostly everyone that I've known here are male that I've met. And for some reason, I feel like that's related to my dream about male wanting a woman's energy, right? And this person, I think, person, that's what they want, because I've told the person, don't call me, don't come here. So, but when we were talking, every time he would come here, and if he helped me with something, he would want to sleep here. And I'm like, no. And this person has a woman, by the way. You cannot sleep here. It wouldn't look right if you're sleeping here. We're not together. You cannot sleep at my place. Why would you want to sleep at my place? You don't pay rent. I pay my own rent. I pay my own bills. I don't think this person not giving me money. not supporting me. So I said, no, it won't look right. And I don't want to have some type of reputation, you know. So I have to protect my reputation as a woman. Um, but every time this person come here, they'll always ask, "Can I sleep here?" And till I'm getting like my spirit, my soul is getting so fucking upset at this person to the point I don't. Mm, I'm really getting upset with myself because I'm like, why allowing this person back in your life think they're gonna be different and they literally care about you as a person and not trying to sneak their way back into your life because they have some intention that they think you don't know or pick up on that they have, right? Even though you give the person chance to be a better fucking man, a better human being, right? Okay. So the last time the person was here and the person's asking me, can I sleep? I'm like, no. And I was always this person, emotionally immature, get upset and run home. Till the last time we have, I'm like, don't call no more. Don't call me. Like, don't call me, don't come here. So how many weeks later? 2 weeks later, the person show up calling my name. Yeah. So I don't want to go too deep into this video or this dream and how it's related, but that's what came to me, and I don't know, like I felt like making a video and talking about it. I don't know why I've never talked about my personal things in terms of like my past history with men, and those men include my own father and stepfather and things like that. It's been say a shithole. Okay, my experience with men and things that have happened. Um, that I felt like just like in the dream, that things that have happened to me where I just become frozen, scared, and freeze and do nothing and just let it happen. No screaming, no nothing. See, those stories, something for another time, but I don't want to talk about those experiences right now. Yeah. So I'm not sure why Spirit wanted me to share this story and this dream, but if anyone who watches this video that are spiritually connected and knows how to interpret dreams, please, I am open to hearing what you think this dream means, and if you have any relationship to my real life dream experience. So yeah, thank you.